She sent you a text with the picture of the baby. Your first response was what?
The baby look like he can be for Donald Trump.
Really?
I didn't expect that.
He thinks the color makes a difference.
You were right.
About what?
I cheated your
What?
friend.
That ain't nothing new. Oh, word? Really did that, man?
Yes, twice.
The night I came on this.
I really did.
Man.
Yes, I cheated, Your Honor.
And it's his baby right here.
It is a possibility.
Oh.
These two are not the only men who claim to be my dad. There's also two other men, father.
What in the world?
Yeah. One of the men who claims to be my father, I know for a fact that he wasn't, and he literally just disappeared. I don't know where he went.
Just when you think it's a typical court day, bam! Plaintiff Ms. Thomas spills the tea about her whirlwind romance with defendant Mr. McKee that started online and quickly got very real. She's visibly shaken as she recounts how he bailed when she announced her pregnancy. Keep watching. The plot thickens from here.
Ms. Thomas, you and the defendant, Mr. McKee, met online dating website, and the conversation quickly jumped offline and in Mr. McKee's bed. You were in a committed relationship with the defendant and was devastated when he denied your pregnancy.
Next up, Mr. McKee throws a curveball by doubting he's the dad based on the kid's looks. This major plot twist has everyone's ears perked up as the paternity mystery deepens. What's next? Oh, it's good. Trust me.
That there is no way you could be the biological father of plaintiff's son, Carson. You claim once you took a look at Ms. Thomas's son, you were 100% sure her baby belonged to another man.
Oh boy, here comes the love story, or so Ms. Thomas thought. She details those cozy nights and long chats that made her think it was the real deal. But wait until you hear Mr. McKee's side. It's a classic, he said. She said scenario. The next part will have you rolling your eyes and laughing.
And then I started going to see him, maybe like a 45-minute drive from where I live, like every other day. So I'm assuming that I'm spending the night, staying the night with him.
You're having a good time, getting to know one another.
Yeah.
You all obviously, since you're spending the night, already started having sex. What did you like about him? What were you drawn to?
His look. He's not a bad-looking person. He looks. He's funny. He's hilarious. He keeps a smile on my face.
And here's where it gets even more tangled. The judge dives into Mr. McKee's fear of commitment while he plays it cool, claiming he wasn't all in. This dance of denial and confusion just adds more fuel to the fire. Watch out for what's coming. It's a doozy.
You having sex, having this relationship going, but feeling like making commitment.
I wasn't ready, Your Honor.
Say something else besides that. No, really, mister. Tell me about it, though. You know, a lot of times we're in situations like this where there are two people are on two different pages. Did you know Ms. Thomas wanted to be in a relationship with you?
Not really, Your Honor.
Grab your tissues, folks. Ms. Thomas recounts the heartbreak of her pregnancy reveal and Mr. McKee's ghosting act. It's a roller coaster of emotions with a blocked number and a whole lot of drama. But hang on, the emotional roller coaster takes a wild turn next.
So maybe like a couple weeks later, I say, let me take a pregnancy test. So I take a pregnancy test. I take a picture of it and I'm sending it to him through text message. I say, I'm pregnant. He's like, oh, okay, so whatever you decide to do.
I believe that's all he said. So, Mr. McKee, you found out she was pregnant. What were you thinking, sir?
She called me when she was like 3 months pregnant. I know I got a phone call. I was at work. I told her I'd call her back, but I ended up blocking her number.
Cue the laugh track. Mr. McKee compares the baby to Donald Trump of all people. It's a hilariously awkward moment that lightens the mood, but scratches at deeper issues of identity and paternity. Don't go anywhere. The laughs and gasps keep coming.
She sent you a text with the picture of the baby. Your first response was what?
The baby look like he can be for Donald Trump.
Really?
I didn't expect that.
He thinks the color makes a difference. The color don't make a difference.
What you're saying is the baby was biracial? That's what you meant. So when you saw the baby, you said, that's not mine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, the judge calls out Mr. McKee for his, let's say, busy love life, revealing not one, but multiple baby mamas at the same time. This bombshell has the courtroom in stitches in disbelief. The grand finale is up next, and it's a shocker.
That's 3 paternity cases going at one time. These are babies.
Right.
These are people. It's not a sport.
I've been married. I'm a widow. So 4 of my kids was from my husband. It's not like I'm out here just sleeping around.
You'll never guess how this ends.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. McKee, you are not the father.
Serious?
He is not the father, Ms. Thomas.
All right, buckle up. The courtroom's already buzzing as we dive into Lusk versus Page. Ms. Lusk is here to prove that her 3-year-old Munchkin's dad was Ms. Page's son, who's sadly no longer with us. Hang tight because the drama's just getting started.
Ms. Lusk, you and your mother say you have no doubt, however, when it comes to knowing your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father is. The man you claim is her father has died, and now find yourself facing off against his mother is just as convinced that she is not your daughter's grandmother. Instagram.
Things are heating up. Ms. Page is dropping bombs of doubt, saying her son was all tied up with another lady, and Ms. Lusk was never on his radar. You'll want to stick around because the tea is about to spill.
Ms. Page, say there's no way in this world Ms. Lusk is being truthful. For starters, you contend your son was in a committed relationship with another woman, and until he passed away, you never heard of Ms. Lusk.
Grab your tissues. Ms. Lusk spills her heart out about tackling teen pregnancy and single motherhood. As she lays down her struggles, you can't help but root for her. And just when you think it can't get any heavier, there's more to come.
Pregnant at 16, having to still go through school. These past 4 years, everything has been on me and my mom. And I feel it's completely unfair because he has a whole other side. She has a whole other side. So my daughter is beautiful, and you missed out on 4 years. Not
Okay,
only
Ms.
me,
Lusk,
not
everybody's
only
a
me.
single parent. You're
You're
not the only
absolutely
one.
correct, but you
It
were a
happens
single
every
parent
day.
as well.
Hold on,
let's get some order.
You
Let's get
raised
some
Desmond
order.
by yourself.
Here's the scoop. Ms. Lusk insists that Ms. Page's son is the daddy, and boy, is it messy with him not around to chime in. Strap in, because the roller coaster is heading to a wild turn.
You believe Ms. Page's son is her biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, her son is deceased, so this has been an paternity issue for the past 3 years related to this beautiful, precious little girl. And you're saying you need help.
They're out for money. I had insurance on
What
my
money?
son. I had an insurance policy. They're out for
That we
money.
knew nothing about.
Let her
that we
speak.
knew nothing
No.
about.
Whoa, things just got real gritty. Ms. Page accuses Ms. Lusk of eyeing a hefty insurance payout, which just complicates everything like a daytime soap opera. But hold on, the plot thickens even more from here.
You said you have an insurance policy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so this insurance policy, in the amount of $50,000, admitted that paperwork to the court. Ms. Lusk is attempting to get a portion of that money.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's why she's claiming your deceased son is her child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your
Your son was in a committed relationship.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Ms. Page is all kinds of shocked about the baby news, thinking it's all a big mix-up. The story twists and turns, and you won't believe what's next.
You asked to go to the school. Of course she wasn't showing. She was just pregnant.
You went to see Ms. Lusk at school?
Yes, I
Yes,
gave
I
her
went to see
permission.
her ask
They
to
had
talk to her
call
and
and
to
act.
find out what was going on. She didn't look, she was holding her head down. She had no whatsoever.
But at the same time, this was my first time meeting you. Her exact words were, look like his type. You're very pretty.
Miss Lusk
And
and
she
Miss
said
Anderson,
the
my
same
son didn't
thing.
have a relationship.
Hold your popcorn tight. Judge Lake is digging deep, asking if there's room in Ms. Page's heart for the little one. If the DNA test checks out, things are about to get super intense, so don't go anywhere.
Miss Page through Facebook to tell her to call, and that's when I broke the news to her about my daughter being pregnant by her son.
During that conversation, what was said?
The very first thing she said to me is, my son is a legend. She seemed proud.
He's always gonna be a legend in my book.
She then had to say to me that her son had no reason to be doing whatever doing in his past, and
Everyone's on edge. The court is piecing together the deceased's love life to figure out if Ms. Lusk's story holds water. This detective work might just blow the lid off the whole case.
Were you aware in a relationship with Ms. Lusk? Were you aware may have had a child?
I have asked everybody, nobody even know of Miss Lusk, nobody.
Now, Ms. Lusk, I want to ask you, were you aware that Desmond was in another relationship with someone else?
No, Your Honor, I didn't find out until the day after his passing.
The moment of truth, no kidding.
The probability of relatedness between Ms. Page and Sumari Page is 99.96%.
Things are getting spicy. Ms. Lohman is crossing her fingers that Mr. Mitchell is the daddy-o of her little girl, aiming to lock down their family future. Meanwhile, Mr. Mitchell isn't so sure, and he's pretty blunt about it. If the DNA test says he's not the father, their next month's wedding is canceled, no ifs or buts. Just wait till you see what's up next. It's a doozy.
Ms. Lohman, you are in court today hoping and praying your fiance, Mr. Mitchell, is the biological father of your daughter, London. And you and your mother are here too. You say today's DNA results will determine the future of your family.
Bet you didn't see this coming. Ms. Lohman spills the beans on their backstory. They started as high school sweethearts, and things got real when Mr. Mitchell moved into her family's home to dodge a rough home life. Their friendship took a turn one fine day when he landed a kiss while she was still dating another guy. Oh boy, keep your eyes peeled for what happens after this confession.
We met when we were sophomores in high school. Junior year, we had a lot of classes, so we became really good friends. And, he started opening up to me and telling me, about his home life. He came from a very, very hard, difficult, terrible background. And I want him and save him from that. I went home and I spoke to my mother and my dad about it. I was like, can we do something about it? They were like, yeah, we'll help him.
Hold on to your popcorn. As they dig deeper in court, it comes out that Ms. Lohman was also hanging out with her ex-boyfriend around baby-making time. The plot thickens with overlapping love interests, stirring up a stew of daddy doubts for Mr. Mitchell. You'll crack up at the next twist.
But you're still in a relationship with this boyfriend time, am I correct, Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what was that situation like?
He never found out, and to this day, he still doesn't know.
He does not know to this day that we're also sleeping with Mr. Mitchell.
Right, Your Honor.
Was this just a one-time thing when you all ended up having sex, or did it continue?
It continued.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor.
Things just got real. Ms. Lohman breaks down the baby timeline, explaining her hookups with both Mr. Mitchell and her ex around conception. This juicy bit clears up some foggy dates and who might be the real daddy. You're not gonna believe the bombshell that drops next.
When I was about 6 weeks, I had went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And then on my second doctor's appointment, I asked, do you have an estimate of when I conceived? Because they can't tell you the exact. And she told me I conceived somewhere between October 12th and October. And I got to looking back at the dates, and I had sex with Mr. Mitchell more than I had sex with my ex. I had sex with Mr. Mitchell about every day and only once or twice with my ex.
Grab your tissues, folks. This part dives into the emotional roller coaster and complicated relationship web. Mr. Mitchell's cousin chimes in, worried he's being played. This family drama has more twists than a pretzel. And trust me, the big reveal is just around the corner.
So you basically believe Ms. Lohman has chosen Mr. Mitchell as the best of the two options.
Well, no, Your Honor, that is not correct. No, Your Honor, that is not correct. I love Mr. Mitchell with everything I have. I have been his best friend since the day when I met him. I love him not because he will take care of him. I love him because he is my best friend.
She doesn't treat me like she does, though.
Certainly doesn't talk to him like she does.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father.
Here we go, folks. Mr. Hamilton kicks off the courtroom drama with a zinger, asking for a lie detector test for Ms. Lombardi and a DNA test for the little one. He's pretty sure Ms. Lombardi stepped out during crucial baby-making time. The stage is set for a juicy showdown over who's the daddy and who's been naughty. Buckle up. This ride's just getting started.
You have petitioned the court lie detector test on Ms. Lombardi, as well as DNA testing regarding baby daughter. You say it is your belief the defendant was unfaithful to you around the time of conception.
And bam, just like that, Mr. Hamilton drops a bombshell. He secretly tested their other 3 munchkins for paternity after Ms. Lombardi confessed to a little slip-up. With the stakes this high for the latest kiddo, the trust issues are off the charts. It's a full-blown soap opera in here, folks. Grab your popcorn, the next scene's a doozy.
I had to get our other 3 tested behind her back after she admitted to cheating with the first. You know, it was like, wow, there go the question right there. And with the baby in your question right now.
We should not have to be here, Your Honor. 4 kids. We should not have to be here for this one.
And where the doubt stands in that with this 4th one is where a case scenario.
Oh boy, here comes a curveball. Mr. Hamilton saw a buddy tiptoeing out of their apartment way past bedtime, sparking rumors of hanky-panky. Ms. Lombardi throws cold water on that hot gossip, but the crowd's buzzing. The plot thickens, and you won't believe the twist that's up next.
I see one of my buddies coming out my apartment.
Out your apartment?
2 in the morning, Your Honor. He's gonna tell me, bring some DVDs back that I let him borrow the week before. Go upstairs.
Not true.
I go upstairs, panties and a t-shirt, no bra. Wait.
I changed after he left.
Hold the phone, we've got more drama unfolding. In a cheeky move to catch Ms. Lombardi in a fib, Mr. Hamilton finds their never-used edible lotion half gone. Accusations fly like pies in a food fight, pointing fingers at secret lovers. This courtroom's turning into a circus, and there's more hilarity to come.
I go upstairs, you know, because, you know, it was a special day for us. And I bought that never was open, but I didn't taste it.
Your Honor, that is a lie.
Well, who ate the edible lotion?
It wasn't me. It had to have been him with his little cheating episode.
Hey, she lied 24/7.
Here's a tearjerker moment, folks. Mr. Hamilton faces the music about treating their daughter Janae a tad differently because, well, he's got doubts. He swears he doesn't treat her differently, but feels weird about the whole thing. Emotional stuff right here, but hold your horses. The next part is even more jaw-dropping.
How does he treat Janae differently from the other two?
He will not take care of her. He will not help me with her. I asked to watch her for 10 minutes so I could go and finish dinner and help with her if she was crying.
I was getting ready for work.
From Janae because he's
That
Janae.
is a lie.
So our older,
It's a fact.
Gasp! Ms. Lombardi confesses to cheating with Mr. Hamilton's pal, throwing everyone for a loop. This bombshell might just explain the baby daddy drama, and suddenly, it's all making sense. They're heading straight for DNA testing to clear up this paternity pickle. The next clip is the big reveal, so don't go anywhere.
Well, this would be the time.
You were right.
About what?
I cheated your
What?
friend.
That ain't nothing new. Oh, word? Really did that, man?
Yes, twice.
The night I came on this?
I really did.
Man.
Yes, I cheated, Your Honor.
And it's his baby right here.
It is a possibility.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, ma'am.
You are her father.
Oh my God, I knew it! I told you!
Was I floored by the simple magic of social media? We dive into the tale of how a guy stumbled upon his potential daughter on Facebook thanks to a nudge from his brother back in 2015. The Room feels the weight of his discovery when he spots her profile, leaving him a weepy mess. This heart-tugging scene really hammers home the profound emotional punch these digital tools pack in reuniting long-lost kin.
How did you finally find her?
I'm not tech savvy or anything like that. Took my brother in 2015, and we just sitting there talking one day in the living room. I'm always talking about them when I said, I done tried this, I done tried that, whatever case may be. You ever try Facebook? I put in Maryland and pop right up.
Well, this revelation just tossed everything up in the air. Kicking off, Marilyn wrestles with her disbelief over the man claiming to be her dad, mirroring her tangled web of family ties. Come enter Mr. Walls, another contender in the dad department. This part lays bare the knotty mesh of perceptions and relationships in families, caught up in the whirlwind of paternity mysteries.
When you got that message and it said, this is your dad, did you feel like, I believe this?
Not at all.
What were you thinking?
I didn't think that he was my father at all.
The main thing came in.
So why did you decide to meet?
Because he was so sure. He was so adamant that he was my father. And I'm just like, I don't know my dad. At least I can just take like this step. Maybe this is just one step forward to figuring out who I am.
The courtroom was buzzing as more dad candidates popped up. It's clear that the father figure drama is far from over, with multiple men thrown into the mix. The gasp-worthy moment reveals photos of Marilyn with another family altogether, adding intrigue to the ongoing enigma of her lineage, spotlighting the tangled emotional and familial entanglements.
Have you ever heard that anyone other than these two men could be your biological father?
Yes. These two are not the only men who claim to be my dad. There's also two other men, my father.
What in the world?
Yeah. One of the men who claims to be my father, I know for a fact that he wasn't, and he literally just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Like the other guy, I remember him and his family. They used to call me Little Bit. I remember him and his family over his house.
You could cut the tension with a knife during this fiery showdown. Things heat up around as Marilyn puts Mr. Hinton in the hot seat over his paternal claims and their emotional weight. Marilyn's emotional strain is palpable as she airs her grievances and the heavy load these newfound paternal claims have dumped on her shoulders, emphasizing the intricate emotional weave and hurdles in nailing down father figures later in life.
Have you prepared yourself? Did you understand that there were possible fathers, that there were 4 men that thought they could potentially be Quinn's biological father?
We met up initially at the rest. She was there before I got there, so I got there a little bit late. So I walked in the door, and it was just an instant. We hugged.
I did not run into your arms. No, I did not. You're lying. No, I didn't. I'm not just gonna run. No, I did not. No, I didn't.
Craving DNA proof, Marilyn digs for truth in the turmoil. Marilyn's call for a DNA test to solidify paternity screams her desperation for some semblance of peace amid the emotional whirlwind. Mr. Hinton's hesitance to get tested up till now paints a vivid picture of the high stakes and raw nerves at play in these paternity scuffles, spotlighting the hefty emotional and practical toll of such confrontations. As the stakes soar, peek at how the judge navigates this crucial juncture.
I asked Mr. Hinton for a DNA test, and he refused. Now, this was 3 years ago. He says he did not need a DNA test, and I said, well, I do. I'm the child of the situation. He said, I know that they share my daughter. I don't need it. He refused to get one. I did tell him at one point that, since you want to be in our life so bad, and I think I was just at that point.
Just when you thought the plot couldn't thicken any further, the DNA results are out.
It has been determined by this court. The father is Mr. Walls.
You won't believe this one. Miss Walters is stirring up drama big time. She claims that Mr. Rogers, a pal from way back when, is the dad of her kiddo, Rylan, and he's totally MIA on dad duties. She's gone all the way to court for a DNA test to get him to own up and be a dad. Both are spilling the tea to Judge Lake.
Ms. Walters, you claim the defendant was a childhood family friend who got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 3-year-old son, Rylan. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is Rylan's father, so he will finally step up.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Here comes Mr. Rogers and his mom, both swearing up and down that he's not Rylan's bio dad. Miss Walters isn't buying it and dishes out their history of not-so-safe romantic rendezvous, pinning him as the only guy she wasn't careful with.
You and your mother are here to prove that you are not Rylan's biological father. So, Ms. Walters, how do you know he's the dad?
I slept with another man weeks prior to even conceiving my son, and we did use protection. And at the time I conceived my son, he was the only person that I was having sex with without using protection.
Get this, when Miss Walters dropped the pregnancy bomb via text released with a pic saying 6 weeks pregnant. Mr. Rogers bounced back a zinger. Congrats. Tell the other guy the same. Ouch. He really thought it wasn't his circus, not his monkey.
She texted me, sent me a picture while I was at work, and it was a sticky note that says 6 weeks pregnant. I text back, congratulations. Tell the other guy congratulations.
Is that what you really felt?
Yes, ma'am. Honestly, what I believe,
Your Honor?
because she was in a relationship with this other guy.
But were you sleeping with her during the window of conception?
Yes, ma'am.
This part is a real tearjerker. Miss Walters talks about going solo at doctor's appointments, and Mr. Rogers only showing conditional support, all based on the big if about being the daddy. Mr. Rogers chimes in about how tight their families were and how this mess has shaken everyone up. Stick around. It's about to get even more tangled.
It was hard. He didn't come to any doctor's appointments. I was doing it by myself. And once I got maybe 7-8 months, oh, I'll be there if he's mine. I'll take care of him. Don't put me on child support. Once I had him, he came to the hospital. Left the hospital before my son was born.
Hey, me and this girl have been through everything together, known each other since we was in diapers. I felt like she was trying to push me as the she knew we would always be there.
Now, here's a trip down memory lane with Miss Sanders. She paints a picture of Miss Walters practically being part of the furniture at their house, just like one of the family. But now, there's this massive elephant in the room, making everything awkward.
So you would let her spend the night just like another child?
She was
and
in
you
all
wouldn't
summers with us. She spent weekends with us. Her dad lived, and while he worked or whatever, he'd come and stayed at my home. I didn't feel the need to supervise it because they grew up.
Did you know if Miss Walters was intimate with anyone else?
Later on, I did because I found a bunch of condoms in her stuff when I went through it.
Here's where it gets really kooky. Mr. Rogers missed a court date, so bam. He's slapped with being the legal dad for child support. Talk about a whoopsie daisy. He's baffled, thinking how did he get roped into this without any DNA proof? Don't go anywhere. Courtroom drama is just heating up.
When the court date was set up for the DNA test. So I missed the court date, automatically rules me as the father. I'm thinking, how am I on child support? There's been no DNA, birth certificate signed. There's no connection to me and that boy as him being mine as
Your Honor,
at the moment.
But there's been a court.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't tell you how many men stand before me. Your Honor, I got this court date in the mail. Went to this address and I had to work, or and I knew that child wasn't mine, so I just didn't go.
Listen up as Miss Rogers, Mr. Rogers' sister, and Miss Walters' BFF steps into the witness box. She's here to spill the beans that her bro probably isn't the dad, given all the partying and the other dude Miss Walters was with. Oh boy, grab your snacks because the saga continues.
And Miss Rogers, you are Miss Walters' best friend. How long have you known one another?
22 years.
Last name Rogers?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, ma'am, that's my sister.
Do you believe your brother is Ryland's father?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Well, because at the time we were all young, we all done our different things. We were all partying together every day, all the time. Every time we went out together. We done everything. I was aware of her sleeping with the other guy. So stated the next morning that she did sleep with him.
Feel that tension? It's thick. Everyone's getting emotional about what this all means for little Ryland. They're all twisted up over whether the families can ever play nice again if Mr. Rogers is confirmed as the dad. But don't wander off. The moment of truth is about to drop.
There is a beautiful child here. 3 years old, doesn't know who his father is. And then if you are the biological father, are the two families going to be able to get along enough
It'll never be the same.
to support this child?
Too much between us.
It'll never be the same.
And then if he's not a biological child, to mend this rift and to put these families back together.
Possible, Your Honor, but there's no telling with the different family members that are each other's family.
And here it is, the big reveal. The DNA test says,
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Rogers, you are his father.
I'm sorry.